If you're over 60, what I'm about to reveal may be the most important discovery of your life. In the last few weeks, a study almost no one saw has exploded behind the scenes of the scientific community, showing that a simple glass of orange juice may be directly messing with thousands of genes in your body. Yes, thousands. And not just any genes, but the very ones that control blood pressure, inflammation, aging, and even your risk of heart attacks. When I read this data for the first time, I'll be honest, I felt a chill run down my spine. Because this changes everything we thought we knew until now. Imagine discovering that what you pour into your glass every morning may be silently rewriting the commands your body executes to keep you alive. It's as if someone were tinkering with your biological control panel without asking permission. And for anyone over 60, this is not just a scientific curiosity. It's a matter of survival. I'm Dr. Kenji Hartman, and today you're going to understand why this study is so dangerous, so disturbing, and so transformative at the same time. The research revealed that drinking 500 milliliters of pasteurized orange juice for 60 days caused deep changes in the expression of genes linked to chronic inflammation, arterial stiffness, glucose metabolism, and heart function. This means that orange juice, so innocent and so ordinary, may be influencing mechanisms that decide whether you age with vitality or become part of the silent statistics of fatal diseases. This is not a dramatic interpretation. It's exactly what the data shows. And perhaps the most disturbing part is the fact that this study has been ignored by mainstream media. No alerts were issued. No awareness campaign was created. As a physician specialized in longevity, that scares me deeply. We're facing something that could benefit millions of older adults, but could also harm those who use this information the wrong way. And the silence around it is, at the very least, suspicious. If you're watching this video now, understand that you would hardly find this information anywhere else. Not yet. What I'm going to explain here can directly influence your daily decisions, from what you drink at breakfast to how you interpret symptoms you previously assumed were just normal signs of aging. This video is not entertainment. It's a warning, and probably the most important one I've ever made on this channel. Get ready, because what comes next will make you question habits, beliefs, and even nutritional advice you've heard your whole life. Today, you're going to find out that maybe, just maybe, what seemed harmless for decades has actually been a double-edged weapon in the hands of people over 60. Now let's dive into the study itself, and this is where everything gets even more shocking. The study analyzed adults who consumed 500 milliliters of pasteurized orange juice every day for 60 days. We're not talking about fresh juice squeezed at home, but about the store-bought juice, the common one you find in any fridge. What the researchers discovered is that this daily intake altered the activity of more than 3,000 genes related to processes essential for human survival. When a food affects 3,000 genes, it stops being just food and becomes a biological agent. Among the affected genes were those that control systemic inflammation, something considered the engine behind the deadliest diseases of aging, such as heart attacks, strokes, heart failure, and even severe metabolic complications. If you're over 60, your internal inflammation tends to rise year after year, silently, without obvious symptoms, and any trigger that reduces or increases that can determine your fate for the next 20 years. The study also showed changes in genes responsible for sodium balance in the kidneys, something directly linked to blood pressure. That means a simple glass of juice may be helping or harming your blood pressure, depending on how your body responds. Think about how serious that is. Millions of older adults making daily decisions without knowing they're tampering with molecular mechanisms that not even their doctors expected. There was also an impact on genes that regulate glucose metabolism, which is especially sensitive for people with diabetes or prediabetes, conditions extremely common after 60. Changes in these genes can influence insulin resistance, sugar spikes, and, in more extreme cases, the risk of serious metabolic complications. It's unbelievable how something as simple as orange juice managed to interfere in so many different areas of the human body. And here's the most impressive point. All of this was observed in people without advanced disease. The impact in older adults may be even greater, for better or for worse. If this juice can modulate genes in young, healthy individuals, imagine what it does in bodies already facing chronic inflammation, vascular stiffness, slow metabolism, and wear and tear accumulated over decades. When I say this study changes everything, it's because it really does. We're no longer talking about food. We're talking about a high-impact biological intervention, and the fact that this surfaced in such a discreet way only increases the need for you to understand deeply what's at stake. From the age of 60 onward, the human body enters a phase where every small internal change can trigger enormous consequences. Inflammation rises, blood pressure goes up, metabolism slows down, and blood vessels start losing elasticity. It's an inevitable process, but one that is heavily influenced by daily choices. And it's exactly at this point that the orange juice study becomes so relevant, because it interferes with the mechanisms that define how you age. For those who are already past 60, any intervention that manages to reduce chronic inflammation can mean less risk of stroke, less risk of heart attack, and more years of life with independence. And the fact that a commercial juice can influence the expression of inflammatory genes makes this drink a potential longevity tool, or a potential trigger for dangerous imbalances, depending on each person's metabolic context. The line between benefit and risk has never been so thin. Another critical point is the impact on blood pressure. Hypertension is so common after 60 that it almost becomes invisible, but it is silently destructive. If orange juice really reduces the activity of genes related to sodium retention, that may help many older adults. But if it raises blood sugar in people with prediabetes, it can create a negative domino effect, increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease. There is no simple answer. There is responsibility. Previous studies had already shown that orange juice can improve cholesterol, insulin resistance, and blood flow. But none had revealed such a deep influence on the genome. This changes everything, because what happens at the genetic level affects not only immediate symptoms, but long-term biological trends. We're talking about altering the body's internal programming, something that was unimaginable for a food so common. And the scariest part is realizing that millions of people over 60 drink orange juice daily without knowing they're activating or silencing genes that influence their very life expectancy. This ignorance isn't their fault. It's the result of a lack of information. And that's why this video exists. To give you what no one is saying, but everyone should know. The compounds responsible for so many surprising effects are called flavonoids, especially hesperidin. They are known for their antioxidant properties, but the study revealed that their action goes far beyond that. These compounds act directly as epigenetic modulators, influencing which genes stay active and which are switched off. It's as if orange juice had access to keys that control vital functions in the human body. Hesperidin reduces inflammation, improves the elasticity of blood vessels, facilitates circulation, and can modulate metabolic processes related to blood sugar. And all of this depends on each person's genetic sensitivity. For many older adults, this compound may be extremely beneficial, acting almost like a natural treatment for inflammation and cardiovascular risk. But for others, especially those prone to glucose spikes, it may trigger undesirable responses. Another important point is that pasteurization, contrary to what many believed, does not destroy these flavonoids. Commercial juice maintains a large part of the fruit's biological potential, which means that industrialized juice is just as capable of modulating genes as fresh juice. This once again changes the landscape because it puts a common, inexpensive, widely consumed product at the center of a massive debate about epigenetics and public health. When a food interferes directly with gene expression, it stops being just food and becomes a biological intervention. And the fact that this has been barely discussed means millions of older adults are using this intervention without knowing its limits or consequences. For some, it may be the key to a longer life. For others, it may be the trigger for complications if consumed without guidance. This epigenetic impact also explains why some older adults report better mood, more energy, and mental clarity when they drink orange juice daily. Genetic modulation doesn't affect only the body. It affects the brain, influencing neural inflammation, cerebral blood flow, and oxidative balance. That is extremely serious and shows we're dealing with a food that operates at much deeper levels than we ever imagined. Despite all its promising potential, the study has important limitations. It was done with a small group, and many of the participants weren't over 60, which means The effects in older adults may be different, for better or for worse. Science still cannot predict how a juice capable of altering thousands of genes will act in bodies already weakened by chronic disease or medication use. Another essential warning is the amount of natural sugar in the juice. For those with prediabetes or diabetes, extremely common conditions after 60, blood sugar spikes can increase inflammation and accelerate aging. This means that even though it's a food with positive effects, it can still be risky for a significant portion of the older population. And this risk did not appear in bold letters in the study. The lack of fiber in juice also speeds up sugar absorption, creating metabolic swings that can impact energy, mood, and even blood pressure. That makes uncontrolled juice consumption a real problem, especially when people treat it as a substitute for whole fruit or as a harmless drink. It's crucial to emphasize that no food, no matter how powerful, can replace a healthy lifestyle. Juice does not cure hypertension, does not eliminate inflammation by itself, and does not prevent cardiovascular disease if bad habits remain in place. It can help, no doubt, but only within a balanced context. The real danger is believing that more consumption always means more benefit. We also have to consider that any substance capable of modulating so many genes may produce unwanted responses in sensitive individuals, from changes in metabolism and gastrointestinal discomfort to altered sleep and daily energy. This reinforces how important it is to watch your own body and seek medical guidance, especially if you're over 60. Now that you understand both the bright side and the dark side of this discovery, it's time to talk about what really matters, how to apply this knowledge safely to protect your life and increase your longevity. In the next topic, I'll show you exactly how to do that. If you've decided to include orange juice in your routine, the first rule is moderation. Between 250 and 500 milliliters per day is enough to obtain benefits without overloading on sugar, preferably in the morning, when your metabolism is more active. This small change can create a deep, silent impact on your body over the months. The second rule is variety. Do not replace whole fruits with juice. The fiber in whole fruit helps control blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and improves digestion. Alternate 1 day of juice with 1 day of whole fruit, creating a balance between flavor, nutrition, and metabolic stability. This helps prevent the blood sugar spikes so many older adults face without realizing it. The third rule is to track your body. If you have diabetes, hypertension, or heart failure, pay attention to how you feel after drinking juice. Notice your energy, your blood pressure, and even your sleep quality. Our body talks, and for those who are past 60, it tends to speak loudly, even when we try to ignore it. Another guideline is to always choose 100% juice, with no added sugar. Many industrialized juices hide additives that increase inflammation and can cancel out any natural benefit from the fruit. Read the label. Do not accept low-quality substitutes. Your body deserves the best, especially now. And finally, remember, orange juice is not a miracle, but it can be one of the most unexpected tools to strengthen your heart, reduce inflammation, and improve metabolism. When used intelligently, it stops being just a common drink and becomes part of a longevity strategy. And you, being over 60, deserve to use everything science puts at your disposal to live longer and better. I'm Dr. Kenji Hartman. If this video opened your eyes to something no one else is talking about, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Here, you'll always receive deep, serious, and transformative information about health and longevity. And tell me in the comments, do you already drink orange juice? After this study, are you planning to add it to your routine? Your story may inspire other people. I'll see you in the next video, and take care of your body. It's the only home you have.